While working late on New Year's Eve, I witnessed the most unbelievable scene. My boyfriend was proposing to a so-called underprivileged student on the mall's largest screen. As I prepared to confront him, she accepted, her eyes sparkling with gratitude. "It's so romantic to be proposed to in my family's own mall," she gushed. "Thank you for loving me for 5 years." With the crowd cheering them on, they shared a passionate kiss and were even awarded the mall's best couple of the night. Instead of causing a scene, I volunteered to present the award. I wanted to see where this little charade would lead them. 1. I was working overtime at the mall on New Year's Eve when I saw my boyfriend proposing to a poor student on the largest screen in the entire mall. Just as I was about to confront him, the poor student blushed and agreed, saying, "It's really romantic and meaningful to be proposed to in my own family's property. Thank you for loving me so unconditionally for 5 years." As soon as the words fell, the two embraced passionately amid cheers, and they even won the mall's Best Couple award of the night. Without crying or making a fuss, I volunteered to present the award to them. I wanted to see what kind of ending two pieces of trash would have together. Looking at Yale on the screen in his suit, I felt a moment of dizziness. My colleague nudged me. "Wow, this guy is so generous. Renting this screen for half an hour on New Year's Eve must cost at least $1 million. I heard he booked this screen with our marketing department a month ago. He's really thoughtful." But I just couldn't believe it. He told me he was going out of town for a business trip and wouldn't be back until next month. But now he was standing in front of Amelia, the poor student I funded, looking deeply in love like a lapdog. I'd already told Yale that I worked at a mall, but laughably, he never asked which one. It's just that he didn't care at all. With 5 minutes left until the new year, Yale in the screen suddenly got down on one knee, holding a huge diamond ring, and shouted hoarsely, "Amelia, marry me." In an instant, the mall's top lights lit up, and colorful balloons fell like snowflakes, and cheers erupted all around. The most ironic thing was that I had stayed up all night to finalize the plan for this proposal. I only knew that there would be a grand proposal at midnight, but I never imagined that the protagonist would be my boyfriend of 6 years. Amelia covered her mouth, tears glistening in the light, and she said pitifully, "Yale, what should I do with you?" The crowd below started to cheer. "Marry him! Marry him!" My colleague looked at me enviously and whispered, "I heard that this girl is the daughter of our mall's owner. A rich young master and a wealthy young lady. A perfect match." The daughter of the mall's owner? How come I didn't know I had a sister? Seeing Amelia standing there in a daze, Yale stood up and gently put the ring on Amelia's finger. "Amelia, I've been planning this for a long time, and I think only you deserve it." The close-up shot focused on Amelia's hand, and my breath caught. That ring, it was the one my dad had specially bought for me at an auction last month. How dare Yale? How dare he steal my ring and propose to another woman? Amelia was so excited that she couldn't speak clearly, and she choked up saying, "I never thought you would propose to me here." This is where the Amelia family started, and my dad will be so happy. Our 5 years have finally come to fruition. It's so ridiculous. We've been together for 6 years, and they've been cheating for 5. At that moment, I felt my scalp go numb. They had hidden it from me so well. After the proposal, the mall staff followed the original plan and set off fireworks with a loud bang. And Amelia threw herself into Yale's arms with a cry. The two of them embraced each other regardless of everyone else. The clock struck 12, and the dazzling fireworks bloomed behind them. The Square broadcast announced in time, "Congratulations to this lovely couple for winning the mall's Best Couple award. A 5-day, 4-night luxury honeymoon trip worth 50,000 yuan." I took a deep breath and said to my colleague, "I'll go present the award to them." I picked up the award certificate and walked towards the two of them step by step. They were still looking at each other affectionately and hadn't noticed me. I said coldly, "Congratulations, Mr. Yale." 2. Yale turned around abruptly at the sound of my voice, his face changing color. He took a few steps back in panic. "Bella? How did you get here?" Before I could speak, he frowned, his tone full of reproach. "I told you I had something to do tonight. Why are you following me?" He paused, his tone even more stern. Do you know how suffocating you make me feel? I was really about to laugh out loud. I pointed at the mall. Are you mistaken? I work here. In fact, I had seen Amelia in the mall a few days ago. I was in charge of setting up the event site at that time, and there was no way she didn't know I was an employee of this mall. But she pretended to be shocked and innocent. Bella, you wouldn't have checked Yale's phone and found out he would be here tonight, would you? Yale's expression was even worse, and Amelia continued. By the way, don't think too much about what happened tonight. It was just a small wish of mine that I asked Yale to do for me. You've always been very generous, haven't you? I sneered inwardly and said calmly but with a hint of sarcasm. I am indeed very generous, so I've decided. I don't want Yale anymore, I'll give him to you. Bella, Yale roared, and then everyone turned to look at him. He immediately changed to a gentle expression and said in a low voice, That's enough, you know Amelia has depression, so don't be so aggressive. The big screen was still showing a close-up of their expressions, causing the customers in the venue to discuss it. Seeing this, my colleagues kept winking at me from below the stage. In order to maintain the image of the mall, I had to endure my anger and handed the award to the two of them. Congratulations to both of you, lock it up. Yale wanted to reach out and grab me, but Amelia pulled him back. She tiptoed and gave Yale a gentle kiss on the lips. Thank you, Yale. The event was successfully concluded. After tidying up the materials in the venue, it was almost 2 o'clock in the morning, but I saw Yale and Amelia, who hadn't left outside the mall. Amelia was sitting in the passenger seat, her eyes red, clearly having just cried. When she saw me, she pretended to get out of the car. Bella, it's my fault, I shouldn't have let Yale. I thought everyone could take a joke. Yale grabbed Amelia, who was about to get out of the car. Bella will understand. I stood there dumbfounded, staring at Yale and sneered. Joking? Who would kiss someone if they were just joking? In the future, when you have children, come and tell me it's just a joke, okay? Then I pointed at the ring in Amelia's hand. I don't care about Yale, but give me back the ring. As soon as I said that, Amelia suddenly took off the ring and threw it into the grass. If you're jealous, then I don't want it. Are you happy now? I watched helplessly as the diamond ring rolled into the dark grass, and I was so angry that I shouted, Amelia, are you crazy? You can't even buy this ring even if you sell yourself. Seeing me shouting at her, Yale rushed out of the car and pointed at me angrily. What are you shouting about? This ring obviously looks like it's from a street stall. Are you trying to make Amelia cry? I couldn't bear it anymore and raised my hand and slapped Yale hard. That's my ring. You have no right to say anything. Yale was stunned by the slap, and Amelia also ran down from the car, hugged Yale and cried to me, Bella, I don't care if you hate me, but how can you hit Yale? You're too much. Do you know how much psychological pressure he has been under because of you? He's been tolerating you all the time. I pointed at Yale and laughed angrily. Psychological pressure? I bought him brand name clothes and a sports car. What psychological pressure does he have? Yale's face turned pale, the veins on his forehead popped out, and he gritted his teeth and said word by word, Don't think I don't know. You bought all these things with a loan to put on a facade. You've been trying so hard to keep me. He thought I bought them with a loan, but he used them with peace of mind, didn't he? He paused and said with contempt, You're just a poor student that Amelia's family is sponsoring. She already told me. I just haven't exposed you because I wanted to give you some face. I looked up at Amelia in disbelief and asked word by word, Are you sure I'm the poor student your family is sponsoring? 3. Amelia's eyes welled up with tears as she pleaded, Bella, I know you have a strong sense of pride, and everyone has their secrets, but isn't Yale your boyfriend? What difference would it make if you told him? I scoffed, knowing it would be a waste of my breath to reason with them. Amelia, your dad has been our family's butler for so many years. Hasn't he told you something? My dad is a total daddy's girl, right? If he found out, can you guess what would happen? Amelia looked at Yale anxiously. No, Yale, Bella probably just wants to save face. As she spoke, her tears began to roll down her cheeks. Forget it. She'll be happy. Seeing this, Yale quickly pulled her into his arms. She's always been so vain, don't mind her. I was too lazy to pay any attention to them and started to squat down in the grass to look for the ring. It was a ring my father had bought at an auction for millions, and it was a gift to celebrate me getting my master's degree from IBM. It meant a lot to me. I don't know how long I searched, but Yale suddenly sneered. As expected of a poor student who can't get on the stage, you're making a big fuss over a piece of glass. Without looking up, I replied, since you can mistake a diamond for glass, it's no wonder you fell for Amelia. You. Yale flushed red and shouted, Amelia is the young miss of your mall. How dare you bully her like this? I'm doing this for your own good. Suddenly, something flashed in my hand. I quickly picked it up and blew on it before putting it in my bag. I turned around and saw Amelia hugging her arms looking frail. Bella, if you had just said you liked it earlier, I would have given it to you. Why did you have to be so embarrassed and do such a shameful thing? I quickly got into my sports car, slammed the door shut, and locked it. This car was mine. The two of them were left standing there dumbfounded. I rolled down the window and sneered. After raising you for so many years, you actually think of yourself as the master of this place? I was referring to both Amelia and Yale. With that, I stepped on the gas and drove away. The next morning, I realized that Yale had been calling me all night. When I opened the door to go out, I found him standing outside the door furious. He grabbed my hand and almost shouted, Come on, go apologize to Amelia. Because you drove my car away last night, Amelia caught a cold and had a fever all night because of you. I was so angry I could laugh. What does it have to do with me that I drove my own car? Why is she blaming me for getting sick? Yale tightened his grip on me and dragged me out. It's all your fault, Amelia. You have to go take care of her. My uncle is so angry. He's waiting for you at the hospital now. Hurry up. Uncle, wait. Could it be that Amelia is actually my father's illegitimate daughter? I shook my head. I trusted my father. I decided to go with Yale. I wanted to see who had given Amelia the guts to impersonate me. On the way to the hospital, I sent a text message to my father. When we arrived at the hospital and hadn't even reached the ward, we heard a man shouting, How dare you bully even my daughter? Don't let me find out who you are. Yale quickly pushed me inside. Uncle, it's her. I brought her to apologize to Amelia. The so-called uncle turned around abruptly, saw me, and was speechless. At that moment, my father rushed over looking anxious. Bella, what are you doing to ruin your old man's reputation? I don't have any illegitimate daughter. As soon as he finished speaking, the two uncles looked at each other, and the air instantly froze. I pointed at the bedridden Amelia and sneered. What am I spreading rumors about? Isn't this the heiress of A51 Square? My dad's face darkened, and his gaze swept over Amelia and her father, Weston, who had been our family's butler for over a decade. The air froze for a few seconds, and then a group of people burst in. I recognized them as the upper management of the mall. The company had undergone a restructuring at the beginning of the year, and many new employees had been hired, so they didn't know my father. As soon as they saw Weston, they bowed and fawned over him, offering various expensive gifts. President Weston, is Miss Amelia all right? Oh dear, it's our fault. We will definitely investigate the matter and hold the relevant colleagues accountable. Yale grabbed me and pulled me towards him. It's her. She's an employee of your company. Out of jealousy towards Amelia, she stole my car and made Amelia stay out in the cold all night. My father's face turned ashen, and he pulled me back to his side, his gaze sharp as he looked at Yale. Aren't you Bella's boyfriend? Yale looked at me sarcastically. She even dares to call your father here. Isn't she afraid of angering him? Then, with a smug look on his face, he walked over to Amelia's side. Don't say anything. I don't have such a vain girlfriend. I'm Amelia's fiancé. Besides, only a poor student would always crave things that don't belong to them. She's been clinging to me for 6 years, and now it's time to teach her a lesson. By the way, she's taken out a lot of loans over the years, right? You've been paying them off for her. But I won't be such a sucker. Although I knew Yale was a jerk, hearing him say that still made my heart ache. Over the years, I had given him countless gifts, Even the $1 million for his proposal was given to him bit by me. But now he called it a vain loan. My father picked up his phone and said coldly, "Since you say she took your car, then I'll call the police for you." Weston trembled as he looked at my father. "Well, maybe we can just forget about it." Amelia looked up at Weston incredulously. "Dad, what are you saying? Why would you let it go?" She pointed at me and screamed, "Isn't she just a poor student that our family is sponsoring? We've raised her for so many years, and we've already done enough for her. And I strongly suspect that she's stealing things. How can a poor student have a diamond ring?" "Shut up." Weston turned around and glared at Amelia, shouting in a low voice. The other employees who didn't understand the situation pointed at me and said sternly, "Bella, right? You don't need to come to work tomorrow." I looked at him with a mocking smile. "Are you sure? Are you firing me?" Weston panicked and quickly changed his tune. No, no, no. No need. No need. Bella is a very capable child." But Yale laughed, his tone full of sarcasm. "Capable? I've known her for 6 years, and I haven't seen any evidence of that. I know her too well. She's just good at pretending." At this moment, my father's face was so gloomy that it was almost frightening. Amelia, however, still held onto Weston's hand and coquettishly said, "Dad, maybe Bella is seducing you at the company. That's why you're speaking up for her." As soon as she finished speaking, there was a loud slap, and Weston slapped Amelia hard across the face, roaring, "I told you to shut up, and you're still talking." For a moment, the whole room was silent. Amelia covered her face and tears streamed down her face. "Dad!" Yale pulled Amelia into his arms and asked incredulously, "Uncle Xanthus, even if what Amelia said is true, you don't have to hit her like that. She's your daughter. She's the only daughter of the Amelia family." Weston pointed at Yale and trembled, shouting, "Get out of here. I don't want to see you here." Yale held Amelia's hand tightly and said firmly, "Uncle, I've already proposed to Amelia, and we're serious." "Oh, last night he said it was just acting, and now he's saying it's serious?" My father glared at Weston fiercely, and Weston suddenly knelt down, startling everyone. Weston didn't dare to look up and trembled as he said, "President Xanthus, please forgive me." 5. President Xanthus? The executives dropped their gifts. "Aren't you President Xanthus?" I folded my arms and smiled. A51 is just the least noticeable project in my family. My dad always sends Weston, the butler, to the company to deliver documents and sign for him. I pretended to be surprised. "What? You don't think he's President Xanthus? Your dad?" Yale let go of Amelia's hand as if he'd been electrocuted and walked over to me. "Bella, how could he be President Xanthus? How could your dad be him?" I just found it funny. "Yale, I told you, I took my mother's surname, and I was planning to confess to you after the new year and bring you home for the spring festival. But unfortunately, you missed it." Amelia swayed and almost fell off the bed, weakly asking, "Dad, how could this be?" Weston pulled her off the bed and scolded sharply, "You kneel down too. President Xanthus has supported you for so many years, you have to kowtow to him." Amelia shook her head frantically and screamed, "You're not joking, are you? All these years, the villa I live in, the luxury car I drive, is it fake? It's not." Weston admitted in a trembling voice, It's all from President Xanthus." My dad was a little confused. "I don't remember giving you these things." Amelia opened her mouth to say something else, but Weston pulled her back. At this moment, I just thought Amelia was strange. She seemed very sure that she was the real daughter. Weston's eyes darted around. "We sneaked in. President Xanthus has so many properties, it's normal to forget." My dad finally realized there was a thief in the house and said coldly, "I've called the police." Half an hour later, the police hadn't arrived yet, but Claire did. She walked into the ward in 10-centimeter high heels, asking in alarm, "Honey, are you okay? Why are you calling the police for no reason?" Then she saw me and frowned. "Bella, don't you know how busy your father is usually? You shouldn't bother him for such a small matter." Claire is my dad's current wife, my stepmother. Usually, when I'm in trouble, She doesn't seem so nervous. I asked back, Auntie, aren't you mistaken? Now that Yale has stolen my diamond ring worth millions and Weston and his daughter have illegally occupied our villa, why can't we call the police? No, Claire said without thinking. What I mean is, Weston has worked for us for so many years, he's loyal, we should give him a chance. She paused and added, besides, I gave them the villa to live in. It's not a legal occupation. I saw that they were pitiful, so I let them stay temporarily. How can you say that? I just found it strange. She has always been very good to Amelia. Whatever I have, she would secretly buy the same for her, saying that she was a poor student and had depression, and she was afraid that she would feel inferior and think about it. At this time, the other executives finally realized and pointed at Weston and scolded. What the hell? Every time you come, you look like the boss. You've been fooling us. Claire's face changed when she heard this, and she scolded sharply. Get out of here. And Weston knelt on the ground, not daring to say a word. Claire pulled my dad's arm and persuaded softly. Honey, don't be angry. I don't think this is a big deal. Why don't we just let it go? 6. Hearing this, my father slapped her hand away, his face clouded over. I knew he was furious. Pointing at Claire, my father roared. Bella was bullied like this in her own company, and you still say it's okay? How can you be a mother? Do you remember? What did you say when you married into this family? You said you would treat Bella as your own. Then he turned his face away, unwilling to look at Claire anymore, and added angrily, I won't let this go. Get those two out of Amelia's house immediately. The police arrived quickly and took Weston and his daughter away crying. Claire tried to stop them like a madwoman, and was pulled aside by my father, who slapped her hard. Claire, I think you've gone crazy. Just then, I heard Amelia's heart-wrenching cry, Mom! Mom, save me. I was stunned. Mom? Claire? My head buzzed as if something had exploded. Over the next few days, I was like a possessed person, secretly investigating the relationship between Claire and Weston and his daughter. I worked tirelessly, hiring many private detectives, and finally uncovered the secret that had been hidden for so many years. Claire was Amelia's biological mother. A private detective held a stack of documents and said, Claire and Weston were married when they were young, and Weston was her ex-husband. I was a little surprised. My dad had a prenuptial agreement with her, confirming that she was unmarried and childless before marrying her. How could this be? The private detective paused and said, Claire used to be called Daisy. After she met your dad, she used some illegal means to change her name. Also, to ensure the authenticity of this matter, we also got the DNA of Claire and Amelia. You can see for yourself. After knowing the truth, I felt a wave of nausea in my stomach and wanted to vomit. I took the investigation results to my father, and after reading it, his face turned ashen, and he didn't say a word. After a long while, he sat down on the sofa in dejection. No wonder Weston and his daughter dared to pretend to be the boss and the young lady of the Amelia family so blatantly. It's all because of Claire. On that day, my father found a lawyer and filed for divorce from Claire, and initiated legal proceedings to recover the property that had been invaded. Claire initially refused to admit it, insisting that she was innocent, and even hysterically cursed me for framing her, until I slapped the DNA test report in her face. She was like a chicken whose neck had been pinched, and she couldn't make a sound anymore. This divorce case didn't last long. After all, the evidence was conclusive, and the prenuptial agreement was clearly written in black and white. In the end, Claire left the house empty-handed and slipped away from Amelia's house. As for Weston and Amelia's crime of illegally occupying the villa, it was naturally not established because of Claire's consent. Later, the police called me. Yale insisted that you lent him the ring, and there is insufficient evidence of theft. In addition, because of your special relationship, he does not constitute theft. However, you can estimate the transfers and expenses during the relationship, and then find a relevant institution to appraise the ring for any damage, and you can recover the relevant amount. After hanging up the phone, my father and I sat in the empty living room and smiled bitterly. Both father and daughter were green, which was quite ridiculous. Although these people escaped from prison, The things they lost were enough to make them regret for the rest of their lives. 7. A few days later, the New Year's Eve marriage proposal event at a 51 Plaza exploded across the internet. Countless videos and pictures swept across major social media platforms, and the comment section was full of, a pigeon egg diamond ring, $1 million giant screen, and fireworks all over the sky. What kind of fairy tale love is this? A 51 knows romance too well. Sisters, quickly at your man and learn from him. Looking at these comments, I couldn't help but laugh bitterly. If they knew that the male and female protagonists of this century-old proposal were a cheating scumbag and a fake, I wonder what they would think. However, this wave of popularity did bring a lot of traffic to the mall. From that day on, the reservations for the confession screen during the Spring Festival were directly full. Looking at the soaring turnover, I had mixed feelings and didn't know whether to cry or laugh. However, the good times didn't last long. Soon, some sharp-eyed netizens discovered something was wrong. This diamond ring, why does it look so familiar? Isn't it the one a big shop bought for his daughter before? Sister upstairs, I think so too. Didn't this guy steal it? What's more, someone broke the news. I'm an internal employee of a 51. This woman is actually a fake daughter. And the man is even more disgusting. He proposed to the wrong woman while hiding his real girlfriend. It's so funny. At this point, public opinion began to reverse, and there were more and more negative comments about the mall. Although I didn't care about the reputation of that dog couple, a 51 was after all my hard work, and it was a bit unlucky to be treated like this. I immediately called a meeting of the planning department and worked overnight to formulate a new marketing strategy. We issued a statement, briefly explaining the ins and outs of the matter, and at the same time reduced the cost of the big screen advertisement by 70%, and launched a series of confession and proposal planning activities, plus an unprecedented low-price promotion of all products. This trick worked, and customers' attention was quickly diverted, and a 51 Plaza's business gradually returned to normal. After everything settled down, I officially took over a 51 Plaza and began to reorganize the company internally. All those parasites who had spent money and effort to curry favor with Westin were all fired. As soon as the company stabilized, Yale came to me like a parasite. Baby, listen to me explain. I was deceived by that crazy woman Amelia. She kept threatening me with depression, saying that she would commit suicide if I didn't stay with her. I was forced. I sneered and interrupted his poor performance. Yale, can you be a little more shameless? Was she the one who forced you to cheat? He tried to argue, and I slapped the information that I had asked the private detective to check casually on his face. These hotel records from 5 years ago all have real name authentication. Do you still want to lie? He was speechless by me and changed his tune, shamelessly crawling up to me. Baby, I know I was wrong. I was blinded by lust before. Can we start over? Look, this is the best CP reward for the proposal that day. A 5-day, 4-night luxury honeymoon trip. Let's go play together? He stuffed 2 gilded tickets into my hand. I slapped them away and said disgustedly, Yale, wake up, it's over between us. I couldn't be bothered to talk nonsense with him anymore, and directly asked my lawyer to send him a lawyer's letter. During the relationship, the amount I transferred to him plus the depreciation fee for the scratched diamond ring totaled more than $7 million. Pay the money back as soon as possible, or see you in court. 8. Miss Bella, Yale has sued us. The company's legal department rushed to find me a few days later. Yale, probably not expecting me to be serious, became furious and retaliated by suing a 51, claiming that the proposal we planned at the mall was a publicity stunt and demanding $1 million in compensation. This operation really opened everyone's eyes, and netizens also mocked him. He's so shameless. Isn't it just that he has no money after breaking up with the young lady? I've seen shameless people, but I've never seen someone so shameless. Yale probably decided to go for broke and started slandering me on live streams, saying that I was a flirt and played with his emotions. I directly threw out the records of the transfers and chat screenshots to him over the years, confirming his scumbag nature. Then he got another charge of defamation, which couldn't be washed away even if he tried. In the end, The court ruled that Yale should compensate me for more than $3 million in dating expenses and $2 million in diamond ring loss. And he also had to apologize to me on social media. I thought that was the end of it, but unexpectedly, one wave after another arose. The company's legal department suddenly discovered that all the member information in the mall had been stolen, and customers were panicking and calling to complain. My father immediately convened a meeting of the IT department to thoroughly investigate the leak. The IT director looked panicked. The company has leaked member information more than once, and the last time was on New Year's Eve. That day, Weston came to the company. My father had always trusted him and never checked what he had done in the company. After verification by the IT department this time, it was found that Weston had secretly opened the company's computer under the pretext of copying data that day. My father immediately called the police, and then the police found conclusive evidence at Weston's home. It turned out that Weston had been stealing member information and selling it to competitors bit by bit. This time, because he resented my father, he actually sold all the information at once. When Amelia found out, she ran to the door of the mall like a madman, pointed her nose at me and cursed, "It's all your fault. You ruined everything for me." Then she cried to my father, "You heartless old man. You actually called the police to arrest my father. My father has done so many things for you for more than 10 years. And he has done his best even if he has no merit. My mother has served you for more than 10 years. I don't know where she went now. It's all your fault." At this time, Yale popped out from nowhere. He pushed Amelia away. "How dare you blame Bella? The one who was really ruined by you is me. I was almost married to Bella." Before he finished speaking, Amelia sneered and threw out a pregnancy test report, hysterically shouting, "I'm pregnant. It's your child." Yale obviously didn't want to take responsibility. He looked at her with disgust and rudely pushed Amelia away, his tone cold and ruthless. "Are you crazy? What does this child have to do with me? Don't try to pin it on me." Amelia was pushed back a few steps by the sudden force and fell heavily to the ground, letting out a painful groan. She supported herself on the ground with one hand and covered her belly tightly with the other, curling up in pain. "My stomach." Seeing his daughter in pain, Weston was furious. He took a step forward, grabbed Yale's collar and said, "You dare to push my daughter?" Then, he threw Yale towards the road. A speeding truck, the screeching sound of brakes, the screams of the crowd, everything happened too fast. Yale was thrown out and fell heavily to the ground, blood staining the ground. The scene was chaotic, and Amelia also stopped crying and stared blankly at this scene, as if she hadn't reacted yet. The police arrived at the scene quickly, cordoned off the road, and began to investigate and collect evidence. Weston was taken away, and Amelia was also sent to the hospital. Looking at this scene, I only felt absurd and ridiculous. Weston was arrested for leaking trade secrets and manslaughter, and Amelia became crazy after a miscarriage. As for Claire, she disappeared after my father and her divorced. She had sent a text message to my father, saying that she would die if he didn't forgive her, but my father didn't take it seriously at all, and then blocked and deleted all her contact information. Later, A51 became the most popular shopping mall model in the country, getting better year by year. And my life has just begun.